Hello and namaste to all of you. This is JVN Shadov Singh from Department of Physiotherapy and Diagnosis from Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. For today's topic, I'll be talking with you about sedimentation. Now, what is sedimentation? So, sedimentation, also known as clarification, is the process of letting suspended materials getting by gravity and suspended materials may be particles such as clay or silts and originally present in the source water, and this suspended material of flock is typically created from materials in the water and chemicals used in the coagulation or in other treatment processes such as lime and softening. And sedimentation is accomplished by decreasing the velocity of water to a point which the particles will no longer remain in suspension. When the velocity no longer supports the particles and gravity will remove them from water flow. Now, this sedimentation is basically the tendency for particles in suspension to settle out of the fluid in which they are entrained and they come to rest against a barrier. So, this is due to their motion through fluid in response to the forces acting on them, and these forces can be due to gravity, centrifugal acceleration, or electromagnetization. Now, in geology, sedimentation is often described as the opposite of erosion. That is, the terminal end of sediment transport is in that sense, it includes the termination of transport by saltation or through bedload transport and settling in the falling of suspended particles through the liquid, where sedimentation is the termination of settling process. So, in estuarine environments, the settling can be influenced by the presence of or absence of vegetation. So, trees such as mangroves, they are crucial to the attenuation of waves or currents and promoting the settlement of suspended particles. Now, sedimentation may pertain to objects of various sizes, ranging from large rocks in water flow to suspensions of dust and pollen particles to cellular suspensions or to solutions of single molecules such as proteins and peptides, and even small molecules supply a sufficient strong force to produce significant sedimentation. So, in term, it is typically used in geology to describe the deposition of sediment, which results in the formation of sedimentary rock, but it is also used in various chemical environments and fields to describe the motion of often smaller particles and molecules. And this process is also used in biotech industry to separate cells from the culture media. Now, there are various factors which influence the sedimentation or which on which a sedimentation will depend. But first one is your particle size. So the size and type of particle to be removed, it has to be a significant effect on the operation of sedimentation tank, sand, or silt, which can be removed very easily, and because of their density, so the velocity of water flow channel can be slowed to the lesser than 1 foot per second, and most of the sand or silt will be removed by simple gravitational forces. In contrast, colloidal material, small particles that stay in suspension and make the water seem cloudy, will not settle until the material is coagulated and flocculated by adding a chemical such as iron salt or aluminum sulfate. Now, the shape of particle also affects its settling characteristics, and the round particle, for example, will settle much more readily than a particle that has ragged or irregular edges. Now, all particles also tend to have slight electrical charge, and particles with the same charge they tend to repel each other. Now, this rippling action, it helps the particle from congregating into flocks and settling. Now, secondly, the factor that will affect your sedimentation is your water temperature. When water temperature decreases, the rate of settling it becomes slower, and the result is that as the water cools, the detention time in the sedimentation tank must increase, and the operator must make changes to the coagulant dosage to compensate for the decreased settling rate. And in some cases the temperature it does not have a significant on the treatment, and a water treatment plant has the highest flow demand in summer when the temperature are highest and settling rates are the best. And the water is colder, the flow in the plant is at its lowest, and the most cases detention time in plants is increased, so flock has time to settle in the sedimentation basin. Now, the next factor that will affect your sedimentation is current. See, several types of water currents they may occur in sedimentation basin. So, density currents are caused by weight of solids and the concentration of solids and the temperature of the water. So, eddies current, it will are produced by velocity and flow of water coming into the basin and leaving the basin. So currents can be beneficial in that they promote sedimentation of the particle, and how the currents also tend to distribute the flow unevenly through the basin, and as a result do settle at even rate. Now current problems they can be reduced by proper design of the basin and installation of baffles, and can help prevent currents from short circulating the basin. Now, uh, it, there are various experiments which are conducted. So, in sedimentation experiment, the applied force accelerates the particle to a terminal velocity v term, and at which the applied force is exactly cancelled by an opposing drag force. So small enough particles, low Reynolds number, and the drag force varies linearly with the terminal velocity, that is F drag, and F v term, that is Stokes flow, where F depends only on the properties of the particles and the surrounding fluids. So similarly, the applied force it generally varies linearly with some coupling constant, which is denoted as Q, and it depends on the properties of the particle. That is F applied, that is force applied, is equal to Q into E applied. So hence, it is generally responsible. It is generally possible to define a sedimentation coefficient S, which is equal to Q by F. So that depends only on the properties of particles and surrounding fluid. So thus the measuring S can reveal underlying properties of the particle. And in many cases, the motion of particles is blocked by a hard boundary, and the resulting accumulation of particles at the boundary is called a sediment. Now, the concentration of particle at the boundary is opposed by the diffusion of particles, and the sedimentation of a single particle under gravity, described by Mason-Weaver equation, which has a simple exact solution, and the sedimentation coefficient S in this case equals mb by f. So mb is your buoyant mass. So the sedimentation of a single particle during under a centrifugal force is described by Lamb equation, so which likewise has exact solution. So the sedimentation coefficient S is also equal to mb by f, and mb is your buoyant mass. And however, the Lamb equation it differs from Mason-Weaver equation because a centrifugal force depends on radius and the origin of rotation. whereas in Mason-Weaver's equation, gravity is constant. Now the Lamb equation has an extra term since it pertains to sector-shaped cells, and whereas the Mason-Weaver equation is one-dimensional. So we can't say that both the equations are same. So there are three types of sedimentation: type 1, type 2, and type 3. So for type 1 sedimentation, it is characterized by particles that settle discretely at a constant settling velocity, or by deposition of iron-rich minerals to streamlines down to the point source, and they settle as individual particles and do not flocculate or stick to each other during settling. For example, sand and grit material. So, type 2 sedimentation is characterized by particles that flocculate during sedimentation, and because of their size is constantly changing, and therefore their settling velocity is changing. So, example, alum or iron coagulation, and type 3 sedimentation is also known as zone sedimentation. So in this process, the particles, they are at high concentration, that is greater than 1000 mg per liter, and such that the particles, they tend to settle as a mass in distinct clear zone, and sludge zone are present. So zone settling, it occurs in lime softening, sedimentation, active sludge sedimentation, or sludge thickeners. Now, according to geology, in geology, the sedimentation is the deposition of particles carried out by a fluid flow. So for suspended load, this is an expressed mathematically by Exner's equation and results in formation of depositional landforms and the rocks that constitute sedimentary record. Now, an undesired increased transport and sedimentation of suspended material is called citation, and it is a major source of pollution in waterways and in some parts of the world. High sedimentation rates, they can be result of poor land management and high frequency of flooding events. So if not managed properly, it can be detrimental to fragile ecosystem on the receiving end, such as coral reefs. Climate change also affects the citation rates. And what is human enhanced sedimentation basically? So, sedimentation enhancing strategies are environmental management projects aiming to restore and facilitate land building processes in deltas, and sediment availability and deposition, they are important because deltas, they naturally subside and therefore need sediment accumulation to maintain their elevation, and particularly considering increasing rates of sea level rise. And sedimentation enhancing strategies, they aim to increase sedimentation on the delta plain primarily by restoring the exchange of water and sediments between rivers and low-lying delta plains. Sedimentation enhancing strategies can be applied to encourage land elevation gain to offset sea level rise, and interest in sedimentation enhancing strategies has recently increased due to their ability to rise land elevation, so which is important for the long-term sustainability of deltas. Now, in chemistry, sedimentation has been used to measure the size of large molecules, that is the macromolecules, where the force of gravity is augmented with centrifugal force in an ultracentrifugation. So this is all about the sedimentation. And though you have read this topic in your earlier school times, but here in your graduation times, you have to always read it in a bit a detail, that is the types, the mechanism acting, the formulas, and everything. So do read it properly, and if you have any doubts regarding sedimentation, you can contact me. So until then, take care and goodbye.